Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to another broadcast. I hope you guys are doing well. Alhamdulillah. As always, on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Alhamdulillah, today the connection, inshallah, is better because I am back into the studio. So first of all, welcome everyone. Barakallahu feekum. Let's pull out the comments. Again, this is a live call. I will share the link with you. We might have some people who will join us on the call, inshallah. First and foremost, please do let me know if the audio is good. Inshallah it is, I hope. Let's get this set up properly. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me well. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hayakumullah. All right. Alhamdulillah. Starting a little bit early just to get things going. Okay, perfect. Can we get some shares and likes, please, so we can get more people on? It's going to be an open Q&A. There might be some people who join us, inshallah. And we're going to be taking your questions, plus the questions on the anonymous Instagram. Okay, for those of you who don't know the Instagram, please make sure you check my Instagram account at Gabriel Al Romaani. I do apologize, there's going to be some background noise. Bit of a full house. Kids are jumping up and down playing. I am not in Turkey right now, I'm in Canada these days. Alhamdulillah. Type guys, also please check out the, especially for the men, muslimjournal.com. That is our course, brothers and sisters. Sisters can also gift this course for their husbands, for their brothers, for the men they want to marry. Inshallah, it is a community that's growing, alhamdulillah, reviving Muslim masculinity based on the Quran and Sunnah. Now, alright, so we'll start bi'idhnillahi ta'ala with our questions, and you can ask the questions here, inshallah. Don't forget the super chat. Support the dawa, guys. Don't forget the super chat, inshallah. Got a couple of courses that have come up on my site. That is a master course for sisters only. It's about male psychology 101. So if you're a sister, you can look at sound is low for the mic. Okay, jazakallah khair. We'll raise it a bit. Hopefully that's better, inshallah. All right, hopefully it is better now. Let's see. Is it better now? Try to. How is it now? Sound is low. Okay, I'm trying to get it to be higher. Okay, they're saying that it's perfect now. All right, so if you go to my website, simply.book.it, I think. 1 second. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So romani.simplybook.it. Okay, this is for our counseling sessions and for the course. So I recently released a course for sisters on male psychology, how to understand the male mind. And there's a course for brothers on female psychology and sexuality. Very important for brothers to understand. And then, of course, the vetting class, premarital vetting, are all on this site. Inshallah, please check it out. Also for counseling sessions. All right, so let's start with the questions. So the first question is, very sad to see the Islamic culture being faded away over here more and more and it's basically becoming known to be westernized and Islamic. Very sad, since the Ottoman Empire was here. Indeed, I think that is something that we see and we have to acknowledge. And every single person has to acknowledge that we've been somehow affected by this phenomenon. Okay, all of us, you, I, all of us. The faster we acknowledge it, the easier it is to maybe hopefully deal with it. Okay, but indeed, in the end, it's a battle of the hearts and of the minds. And some people just give in, some people just give up, some people fight back. But indeed, there used to be a time where the dominant culture was the Muslim culture, where the non-Muslims used to dress like the Muslims. Now the Muslims dress like the non-Muslims. We all do. Right? You could say that people argue, obviously, that there's no standard fashion that's sunnah. That's a good point. Definitely the Prophet used to wear clothes that time. In general, the Quraysh would wear, with some exceptions and differences. So you can make that point. But my point is always that we should have our own fashion as an identity. Right? Imagine that people will be wearing thawbs and kufis, even though they're not Muslims, just because they want to imitate the Muslims. I'm just talking about psychological strength that Islam would actually, put forward. Now, I do apologize a bit, I'm a bit sick. 18-year-old suggested to his girlfriend that they stop their haram relationships and are now waiting some years until they get older and he's more financially stable to marry. What's your advice on this? Okay, that's good. They stopped the haram relationship. Can you resist it? Can you wait these many years? My advice would be to at least make the nikah, to at least have some promise, some commitment. Okay? At least when you make the nikah, and I've been advertising for this, I've been saying to community members, make the nikah. You wouldn't be having haram relationships. At least you know you're married, even if you don't live together yet, even if you haven't started your life together yet. 18, if you're already having haram relations, it means you're an adult. Okay, you're an adult. So my advice to the brothers and sisters, convince your parents to do a nikah, because are you really practically really going to be able to stay away from each other after you've been in a relationship? At some point you're going to feel weak and you're going to fall. So be careful. It's very, very important to be careful. Barakallahu feek, brother Zaki Ahmed. Barakallahu feekum. Now, right, LGBTQ is their, this is their month supposedly. It's sad because this is no one's month. This is astaghfirullah, it shouldn't be. But yeah, it's spreading all over. It's spreading all over, guys. Sadly, all over the world. Sadly, and because they care, they push their thing. They care about themselves. They care about their community. They fight. They're aggressive. Muslims, we don't care. We allowed it to happen. We didn't fight back. Now people are waking up. So they've reached a level of policy, decision making, very huge, very influential. It's huge, very, very difficult. Can you guys hear me? Someone's saying no sound. All right. What would you say people should do if your origin country is so corrupt that the only way to save is through blood? I doubt that that's something that should be done. And not always everything, it's just bloodshed is something very, very, it's a big fitna that can happen, as you've seen in the recent years of different militant groups starting. Right? It's not so simple. You just go to war and you start shedding blood, because there can be so many mistakes. It has to be really strong, understanding if a nation goes to war, like in politics, and you see everywhere, right? Look at what's happening around the world. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said to be very careful about these revolts and about people trying to do stuff with bloodshed, because there will be more corruption, actually, there will be spread throughout the land. Innocent people will be killed, people will be terrorized, a lot of bad things, raped, and things will be stolen. Because if people let themselves go, to their desires, they can do a lot of bad things. So it's not, I don't agree with this. No. Still kind of low, the sound. Okay. Let's see. I'm not sure why. Let's see if this is better. Maybe I got it the wrong. Some people can hear me, some people cannot. Again, let's try to let me know if it's okay. Yeah, okay. Sister's saying that they can hear me. Alhamdulillah. I've increased the volume now. Type. Let's take, guys, don't forget to please share, like this video, and also don't forget to hit in one of those super chats, inshallah. It helps with the dawa, and I see your question faster. All right, so I'm going to go for the questions on the anonymous posts on my Instagram. Okay, people say, why don't you talk about Al-Aqsa? Our people in Palestine are fasting, getting injured, killed, this and that. Of course I talk about Al-Aqsa. I talk about these things. I've been there recently, and I've taken videos, alhamdulillah. So, of course, I talk about this. I do. People need to understand that this is part and parcel of our deen, to protect our Aqsa and to talk about these things. And more people have to talk about it and to raise awareness, no doubt. No. Okay, let's see. The next question is, my father's bad-tempered has left me scarred from men. As a girl, he would hit me hard. This is a sister asking. Okay. Now I'm a young woman. He uses names and degrades me, calling me whore. So I'm never free mixed or making fun of my weight in front of others. I forgive him, but I find difficult to be feminine. And then she says, manners and conduct, because I've always had to protect myself. How would I overcome and strengthen my femininity? Because I don't want my future husband to have to deal with a defensive, unfeminine wife. It's a very good point. It's a very good question. First and foremost, this is the sad reality of many walis and qawwams, men who are a disappointment. Some of the men are just a huge disappointment. Keep in mind, guys, that we're supposed to protect the women, right? So a lot of men are disappointed and they scar the women. Of course, the next guy that comes along, he might be a good guy. He might be the husband to be a really, really good guy. But because the woman is scarred now, he's going to have to carry those consequences. He's going to have to deal with that trauma. She might be, sorry, the camera went off. She might be scarred for life because of that. And he's going to have to pay the consequences. And he's a good guy. And that's why it's so important for men to protect the women. If a woman, gets scarred, it's going to be a problem. And that's why most rules and protections are implemented on women in Islam. Because she is basically the future of the children, of the next generation. And if she's scarred and traumatized, then indeed she will be causing a lot of problems. And that's why we're in this generational trauma right now, because we don't understand. People don't understand how to deal with things. And good men have to suffer from women who've been scarred, and good women have to suffer from bad men, right? No. Okay, please do, guys, hit up the super chat. Inshallah, you can help a lot with this. Okay, so there's a question here. I'm not going to put the name up. My friend said they used to watch porn and then left it, but it has affected him and can be cured. So it's also physically weakness and premature ejaculation. Right, so he has to basically rewire his brain. He's got to stay off it for at least 6 months, 1 year. He could get back to his original condition. This is something that inshallah you can do. I'm sorry, it seems like for some reason the camera keeps going off. But yeah, so he keeps, he has to keep himself working out. He has to keep his his condition, right? He has to treat himself. Like, he cannot just allow himself to fall down. He can get back to it, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And takes about 6 months to 1 year, to some people better. But if he relapses over and over again, he gets back to it, then of course he will have this physical weakness. That's what happens with men. Men, when they're addicted to pornography, they're physically weak, low libido, very, very weak. So I also recommend my Tasgiyah program, mytasgiyah.com, and just work out, increase the testosterone. I just opened up a bottle of Tongat Ali. It's a new. Let's see if you can see here. It's a new bottle of Tongat Ali. It's a great testosterone booster. I combine this with black ginger, and I'm gonna put, actually, for you guys, a link for my storefront. I just started my storefront on Amazon. May Allah bless you guys. Hopefully you guys can, inshallah, benefit from it. If I can find it. And then I will, I'll get you guys listed on this, or you guys can see, inshallah, my storefront, some of the vitamins that I use, some of the stuff that I do, inshallah. And let's see here if I can share it with you guys. Yep, here it is. Okay. So if you guys want to, this is the first time actually I'm sharing this. My vitamins, some of the things that I use on a regular basis, products, please check them out. And if you buy them, it'll help, again, the dawa and so on. Now, all right, bismillah, let's go to another question, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So this is my storefront. The black ginger will be there. Tongat Ali will be there. Vitamin C, I take a lot of vitamin C. Vitamin C is very important. All vegan, good stuff, inshallah. Please do check it out. All right. Bismillah, let's continue. Is there a tax in Malaysia like personal income tax? There is a tax in Malaysia. Yes, there is a tax in Malaysia. Yes, there is. Okay, Ahmed is saying, have you ever heard of brothers who suffer from wet dreams multiple times a week, and do you know if getting married can help to stop it happening that often? Actually, it's not a bad thing. A wet dream is something halal. I think, if more people, probably this guy is lowering his gaze and he's not looking at anything bad. Because if you're having a wet dream, it's basically a halal release. And that's good. So if you're not married, that's a good thing. Yeah, when you get married, once you start having intimacy, that's going to go away, because now your brain, your body doesn't need it. So wet dreams is like a natural response, halal response to your body's needs of having intimacy So most people, for example, they'll be watching porn, masturbating, and so on. And then they don't get wet dreams because it's haram what they're doing, of course, first and foremost, in watching that stuff and masturbating. And they're releasing that way. So now their brain gets that negative release. So it won't give that positive release, which is wet dream. A wet dream is something halal. It's okay. It's fine. It's good. You don't, that's like you release, and you're not sinful for it. While you're watching porn and masturbating, you're sinful for it. Understand? That's the difference. So, and if someone gets wet dreams, then be happy. It's all good. If you're not able to get married yet and whatnot, there's problems. If you're getting wet dreams, then it's okay. It will go away when you get married and you have intimacy. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, brother Gabriel. I know you've made a video on divorce previously, but could you make an updated one for younger people getting married, and what there are things they can do to avoid divorce? Okay, I do believe in my course, marriage vetting, that I've talked about the things that you should avoid and what you should do to make sure that you pick the right spouse. To avoid divorce, first and foremost, you have to pick the right spouse. That's the most important thing. Once you've picked the right spouse, then you'll be okay, inshallah. You'll be much better. You'll avoid divorce in the first place. But if I were to say off the top of my head to avoid divorce, the best thing you need to do is communicate well, have compatibility in iman, try to, do things together in the deen, and, keep good intimacy, a good connection in terms of intimacy. Fatima says, would it be, Assalamu alaikum, would it be permissible to ignore and not talk to close relatives who are always toxic and hurtful? It depends, right? If they're like silatu rahim, they're connected to you, you can say salam to them, you can check on them once in a while, but manage the situation. And yeah, if they're very toxic, very negative, just manage the situation. Keep things on a need to know basis, right? So you kind of keep yourself away from them, but at the same time, you're still fulfilling the responsibility of, giving salams and all that. Okay? Is audio still low? Subhanallah. Really? Let me see if I can increase the gain. Okay, is audio okay now? Okay, for the vetting guide is on my website, romaani.simplybook.it. Okay, this is where you find the vetting guide, inshallah, the course. Now, okay, in Islam, does the daughter-in-law have to serve her in-laws? It's good if she does. It's good if she does, but it's not like something that's like fard for her. But let's say that her husband requires that, so she should obey the husband. But she shouldn't be like she's not a servant to them, right? Some people abuse that in certain cultures, like the Desi culture. I'm not trying to pick on that, but people will abuse that. It's like an expectation. It's not like she doesn't have to. But if the husband, like for example, let's say they marry, and I always say this is something that they should discuss before marriage. Like, what are the limitations? What's expected? Because maybe she's like, I'm not going to be able to. I need my own house. I need my own place. I need to, have my own space. So they should discuss this. Where they're going to live. Are they going to live with the in-laws or not? These are things that I discuss in the vetting guide. I think it's important for people to discuss these issues ahead of time. Because once you guys get in it, I mean, yeah, even if it's not the fard for a woman, but if the man like requests her and he says, please, you have to do it. Like, I need help. I need you to do this for my parents and help them. And she should obey him. So she gets rewarded for obeying him and serving them. But if he gets abused, pay attention here so you don't misunderstand me. If he gets abused, as in some cultures, people take an advantage. They really enslave the girl. This is haram. This is bad. This is dhulm. Right? They beat her, they overwork her, they overload her. If she makes any mistake, they criticize her, they talk bad to her. This is wrong. This is very, very wrong. Okay, keep in mind. So I would say talk before marriage, understand who you're going to live with, what are the expectations, and so on and so forth, so you don't have problems in the marriage. And for those in-laws who are abusing their position and they're being rude and mean, know that you are committing haram. Now, what do you recommend to recover from fatigue? There's something called GABA. I usually post it on my Instagram as a link that you can buy. GABA is great to recover from fatigue. Black ginger, as I said, is something that the Muay Thai fighters use to boost stamina. But GABA is really good. Like, let's say you've worked out, you've had a long, it's easy to recover. It's a neurotransmitter. It's already in your body. It's halal. Okay, and the best thing, of course, وَجَعَلْنَا اللَّيْلَ لِبَاسًا وَجَعَلْنَا النَّهَارَ مَعَاشًا. And you're supposed to sleep. The best, as for first is to recover from fatigue, is sleep. All right, Bismillah. And don't forget, guys, to share and like, and please do hit one of those super chats. Inshallah, it helps to see your question faster, and it also helps with the dawa, inshallah. Okay, next question is, what you say to the person whose anxiety is preventing them from getting married? Look, in the end, what you're gonna do, like, you have to face your fear. You can't stay there and just wait for things to be fearful. You can't. You gotta face your fears. You're never gonna know. If you're always gonna be afraid, you're never gonna know what could have been. So stop being afraid. People are afraid because they're gonna get divorced. Well, guess what? The Prophet ﷺ himself had divorce in his life. Divorce is part of life. You might end up being in. It is what it is. Like, just don't be afraid. Get married. Bismillah. But do your vetting. Make sure you choose the right person. Do whatever you can. And in the end, it's going to be your qadr. Whether shar or khair. Remember that. It could be bad or it could be good. His qadr is, khayrihi wa sharrihi min Allah. The good and the bad is from Allah. This is what we submit and we accept. Now, how can I stay focused Fajr at 2 a.m. and I used to study after Fajr winter? Go to sleep a bit. Pray at 2 and wake up at 5 and study in the morning. You have enough time. 4. Just go to sleep. If it's 2, I know that in some places it's very, very early. How to overcome pornography addictions is a huge problem. Please check mytaskia.com or book an appointment with me, inshallah. You can DM me, inshallah, on my Instagram. Now, next question. Mufid says, how to differentiate abusing and telling spouse to do or not do something correct way. Like, abuse is like constant battering and hurting and insulting, and nasiha, and giving advice to someone, is you're talking to them, you're telling them, you're holding them accountable, right? It's an easy difference. Everyone knows what abuse is. Abuse, like, you're insulting, you're always bad, you don't help, you're just like evil, you're just bad. And advising is like, no, look, you have to do this. This is part of the deen. This is my part. This is your part. You give nasiha. You give advice, right? You don't like become nasty when you talk. Some people become nasty when they talk. Yes, Muslim Tom Cruise. MashaAllah. This will be posted on Instagram, inshallah. Yes. Sisters don't believe in obeying their husband anymore. What should brothers do now? Yeah, indeed, this has been pushed so hard in not obeying the husband that they don't have to obey the husband. This is feminist Muslim rant. There's only one thing that's more dangerous than feminist. That is Muslim feminist. Okay, that is Muslim feminist. So, well, they need to go back and reread the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, where, for example, he said, if I were to order anyone to make prostration to other than Allah, I would have ordered the woman to make it to the husband because of the great fadl or blessings that he has upon her. How to stay away after Fajr and not be fatigued? It depends what time is Fajr. Try to go to sleep a bit earlier. Take a nap in the day, like in the middle of the day. Usually I wake up early, stay up after Fajr, do some work, and then, I'll take a nap in the middle of the day somewhere. Right? Now, do you know any books to study Islamic psychology written by Muslims? So there's the Positive Islamic Psychology book. There's the Dilemma of the Muslim Psychologist. There's Islamic Psychology. There's a few. Those are 3 titles that you can search, inshallah. Now, Sister Amina, don't be afraid. Inshallah, Allah will give you someone good. Bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Someone says, how to deal with a unhappy wife when all her rights are being taken care of. Every few days, the husband and wife are fighting. Look, come for a counseling session. Let's talk about it. Bring your wife, book a session, and we can talk about it. Indeed, these days, especially, it's hard to please women. Extremely, extremely hard to please women. Very, very hard, honestly. So that needs to be discussed, why she's unpleased. If her needs are being fulfilled, it's got to be something there. Or she's off and she's wrong, and she needs to fix herself. Yes, indeed, these days, I'm telling you, brothers, it's hard to please women. Why? Because there's been so much that they can have and they can get, so much attention, so much things on social media. Women compare, women think, fantasize. They have all kinds of things they have in their minds. Now here comes a miskin guy. He's trying to do his best, and it's not going to be enough for him. That's why most women, many women, leave the marriages. Birth control allowed in Islam. Some scholars have said yes. I don't. I think it has very, very negative consequences, and I don't think it is good. I think it's not good at all. Okay. Hopefully the gain is better now. I'm not sure if this is. People are still complaining about the audio. I am talking as close as possible. People are complaining still about the audio. What's your advice for non-married brothers? Get married, man, as soon as possible. Make the nikah at least, so you have someone, at least that you have someone who's there, you are waiting for them. Inshallah, things will work out, but have at least a nikah. Look for someone who is willing to do the nikah, at least to know that you have someone ready and waiting for you. Nah. No. Okay, I need a tip from a rational person. I have a problem with family and thinking seriously of leaving it. Depends, Sister Muna. Hard to tell, honestly. Like, this is on that kind of question. It's such a. Anyone who will give you an answer to that question in just a quick thing, it's not right. Like, please, if you can book an appointment with me, please do so, inshallah, so we can talk. I need to understand the whole situation. It's when it comes to family, you can't just leave them. But in some cases, you can. Okay, but it depends. What is the Islamic approach to management and scheduling your day? Morning. Use the morning. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Burika li ummati fi bukuriha. He has made dua for us. So there's barakah in the morning. So, morning. Start with tahajjud. Wake up earlier than fajr. Tahajjud, sunnah fajr, fajr in the masjid, athkar and some Quran, workout, breakfast, start work. By the time dhuhr comes, man, you can finish all your work. After that, you take a nap. Then you got the rest of the day for family, for doing whatever, studying, reading, some books, developing yourself, taking courses. Morning, though, is the most important thing. Again, to review, qiyam or tahajjud, sunnah fajr, fajr in the masjid, athkar and Quran in the morning, workout, breakfast, black coffee, don't forget, and then work right in the morning, then finish work, dhuhr, take a qailula, a nap, sunnah, then you have the rest of the day. Do you have advice for brothers who want to be a woman? Outside of our culture, but there. Maybe to marry, like a woman outside of their culture. Depends, you got to be careful. You got to make sure that there's some compatibility. Culture, if Islam is strong, culture can be overlooked. If not, sometimes it can cause problems. So be careful. Ben says, I'm getting suicidal thoughts. I feel healed at times, but then again, I get them. I feel like I'll end up doing something I regret. I don't want to send this at all. Like what I do. Please, can you contact me on Instagram? You know my Instagram. Don't do anything. Please talk to me. Anytime you feel like this, you should talk to someone, a friend. You will regret it. Person who commits suicide, they'll be in Jahannam forever. So if you have mental health issues, let's talk about it. Let's deal with it. Please contact me as soon as possible. Brother Zaki, may Allah bless you for the super chat. Guys, please hit up like Brother Zaki, may Allah bless him. Brother Zaki Ahmed with the super chat. It helps a lot in the dawa. It helps us keep going. So please help with the super chat. Inshallah, you can hit that button and I'll get your questions faster. He says, wife got caught chatting with her ex and other men. Husband was unaware before marriage and chose her for deen. She's denying and saying it's not her. Yeah, man. It happens that you think, women, and I'm not saying all women, but in general with women, because they look very innocent and they act very innocent, they're not, they don't carry their hearts on their sleeves. It's hard to know how a woman is. A woman might be very religious, yet in her head, she's very bad. A woman might be very looking like very religious, but behind is really, really bad. With guys, it's kind of like we're on the outside, on the inside, people can kind of tell what we are. Men are more transparent. With women, is a bit deceitful. So a lot of guys might marry someone they think because she's wearing hijab, she's good. I have, as a counselor for the past 20 years, the stories and the cases that I have to deal with. A'udhu billah. I'm not trying to pick on women because men are bad as well, but there's just this double standard of difference. When men are a bit bad, it's almost like the world forgives them. Oh, they're men, they're men. It's kind of like when girls hug each other, it's not like something bad because like they're women, or they hold hand, right? If two guys were to do it, it's like bad. It's a double standard of difference. You understand that? Double standard of difference. So guys get forgiven easier for cheating, it's not halal, it's haram, it's bad. But you know what I mean, right? A woman is bad, is really bad, right? Because they're expected to have more haya and to be more chaste and so on. That's their value, is in their chastity. You understand? A value is in her chastity. So she becomes a huge disappointment when she's not good. She starts talking, chatting, getting attention from different people. Okay? So, be very, very... What I would say is that if the guy has proof, he needs to confront her. She needs to stop. I wouldn't necessarily divorce yet, but there should be some counseling. There should be some clear explanation as to what happened, an investigation. And he needs to like take her phone away or any means where she can chat and so on. And if she starts misbehaving again, most guys will let a woman get off when she's like that. If she's talking to men, especially, it depends on what she's been talking. If the talks have been like of sexual nature, sending pictures, anything like that, most guys will just divorce. SubhanAllah. Again, please, to Sister Bint, please do contact me as soon as possible. As soon as possible, please. Why is it for a sister getting married, someone from back home don't work, or for brothers? Sadly, I think because the culture is so different and because men are the leaders, there might be an incompatibility. If guys are from the West, if they marry a woman from back home, the women back home are a bit more, have more haya. It fits more with the guy being like, let's say, he's a bit more open or whatever. But if the woman is a bit more open, the guy is a bit more, a certain way, it doesn't work. This is just a personal observation. Allahu Alam. Do you have any advice for who want to go against their parents' wish for marriage, because many parents want their children to marry from their culture? I would not go against my parents. If they're good parents, I wouldn't go against it. And you can find a lot of good people within your culture as well. But look, everyone's on preference. They shouldn't be denied. But I wouldn't break my family or go away. Your father has raised you for all these years, and now you're going against him. Within your culture, there's thousands of brothers that you can choose, or sisters, right? Depending on where you are, or who you are. So Ahmed, so thousands of sisters. So don't go against your family. If a girl's never been married but thinking about being a second, third wife, is it possible she can find husband and current wife would both support and encourage polygyny, like the wife wants it to? Yes, there are some. Yeah, I've met some. I've had some clients who have been specifically looking for polygyny, and they've come for advice. So yes, it is possible. It is still possible. Not so common, but it is possible. I feel like if the mindset of current wife is for polygyny, everyone can love and respect each other. The wives loving each other, like Sister Islam, there will be more peace and happiness. Yes, indeed, there can be 100%. But I advise it's better not to mix things. Right? Just keep the women separate. If they can meet somewhere, sometimes here and there, but there's a lot of idealization when it comes to polygyny, maybe because it's become a trend in many cultures, and now even in the West, the polyamory and all that. So, but yeah, indeed, I think this is something that people idealize. It's better to just keep things separate. Alhamdulillah, if the women respect, the respect is very important, all that, but to become best friends or sisters, I don't know. Right. I don't think there's gonna be jealousy. There's definitely gonna be jealousy. It looks nice right now when you think about it. Once you become intimate with that man, once you become in a certain way, it will be problematic. I believe so. A lot of them. It can be. There can be exceptions, but it can be problematic. Guys, don't forget, please hit that super chat, guys. Hit that super chat, inshallah, and support the dawa. I'll see your question much, much faster. What do you do to wake up earlier? Isha's around 11. Fajr 3. Like to wake up around 6, 7 to revise. Find difficult to wake up. Well, pray. Ask Allah to help you, to support you. And I think you can do it. Everyone can do it. You can do it, inshallah. Pray Fajr, go back to sleep after some time. Wake up around 7, let's say. Revise, do your thing. Possible. If you get yourself into the habit, it can. Don't use too much the phone before going to sleep, because it's hard to get to sleep when you do that. And try to be as off the phone, maybe relax before, just go pray and just go back to sleep, go straight to sleep. The summer is difficult in many, many countries, but hey, it's inshallah, it's going to be rewarding, so don't give up. Okay, part 2. I've asked my friend who used to be addicted to porn. Now it's off, but after some time, when you have to do a goal to get back, watching it doing haram by himself. Yeah, because you relapse a lot. So it's better to get married as soon as possible, to push for that, because in the end, it's a need, right? Intimacy is a need, and a person cannot be without intimacy. It's very difficult, extremely, extremely difficult, more than a month, 2 months, especially for men. So the cure is marriage. The cure is marriage. Okay? The cure is marriage. Because this person is every time has to do a big goal or whatever. It's because it's a coping mechanism, right? When we're sad or we're anxious or whatever, we kind of want to feel loved and to feel intimacy. So that's why a lot of people relapse when they're stressed and they have stuff to do. I'm scared I've lost my own virginity. I haven't used toys, but just myself. What do I do? Okay, I think it's a sister. If you haven't used anything to stick inside, then you probably didn't break your hymen. But if you stuck something inside, then most likely you did. Okay. If it's just, even like, sorry to get so descriptive, depends, right, what you have done. It's hard to tell. But yes, it's possible to break your own hymen, yes. May Allah protect. How to deal with your wife's social media life, knowing if she is talking to other guys, and if the wife refuses to give her social media account, what should a husband do? No, she should give it. She should give it. He's allowed to check. She should give it. If he requests it, she should show it. She should show what she's been seeing, what she's been doing, if he requests her to do that. If he suspects that there's something going on, something wrong, she should. Okay, because he has the right to check on her. If he sees that she's been doing something, like there's a suspicion, just like that, to suspect only, no, it's not good to just, But if she is doing something wrong, he saw something, and there's a suspicion because something is justified, then he has to ask for it. And if she refuses to give it, then there's obviously a problem there. It's a huge problem. That can cause huge problems. Would a man be able to notice if a woman has masturbated before? Depends on the man. But yes, a person could easily know if, so she's probably gonna, there's certain indications a woman, if she's been like a masturbator. It's a man who has some kind of himself experience, he'll know. If he doesn't, depends how she's gonna behave. Even then, there's a chance. So it's best for her to be very careful with that, especially in the first night of intimacy, right? Because when you're in the intimate moment in a certain way, yeah, it's an issue. Like women who masturbate a lot, they have a hard time to climax from intercourse. Hard time. How to tell your wife to start wearing hijab correctly without her getting offended. Well, if she's gonna get offended from that, then I mean, this is not you telling her; it's Allah telling her. So just tell her nicely, just to keep encouraging her, keep reminding her. Don't scream, don't be loud, don't be this. But there has to be a limit, right? Because she's disobeying Allah. Father's emotionally absent and distant from his daughter, rarely talks about her life or have discussion with her. Is it sinful she can't bring herself to have a conversation with him? She should try, She should try to talk to him, to respond. Like, you don't have to like bring yourself to have like deep conversations, but just do the fard, the salam, the respect, the talk, just checking on him. It's between a daughter and a father. Sometimes sometimes it's not so, they're not so connected like with their mothers, right? So it's not like a sin if she doesn't have some deep conversation with him. Should I consider Mary's sister who ticks all the boxes but is on the larger size? She said she started to lose weight for me. It's okay. I mean, it depends. Some men have a preference for bigger women. It depends, you know. She can lose weight, and that's something easy. Other stuff to change about her character and whatnot, that's not easy. My brother's wife is explosive, won't communicate, threatens him, ignores him until she gets her way. He's depressed, losing weight, and talking about killing himself. How do I help him? Please tell him to come talk to me. Please tell him to come talk to me. Okay? That woman is very toxic and she can destroy him. Please tell him to come talk to me. Can wife and my parents live together in the same house? Depends, man. This is also always a problem. Could be a problem. Depends. Be clear about it. It can happen. Sometimes it's good, but depends on the sister. Depends her mindset. Depends on your expectation. Be clear about it before you marry. It can happen. It's possible. But again, a lot of times, a lot of issues happen. Some people make it like it's haram. No, it can be. But discuss what are the expectations of this living together. As we responded in the question about the servant, right? Serving the in-laws. Sometimes there's abuse. Sometimes there's issues. So talk ahead of time. If the sister's okay, some sisters are like, I don't have a problem. I like to be with your parents. I like to help out. And some don't. So she's saying, what if I use the finger? This is why I don't want to get married or wait a couple of years because I don't want him to know. If it's just a finger, it won't break your hymen, right? It's not. If it's just one finger in general, it will not break your hymen. Okay? Brother, what if someone is shy to ask Muslim women for marriage as a revert? Talk to her family, man. You have to talk to her family, Shah. Don't talk to the sisters. Ask her father. Okay? No. If there's only just enough attraction that a man doesn't find her ugly, but she has good character, from what you can tell, what do you recommend? There has to be attraction for a man, specific for a man. Like, it can be like, she doesn't have to be like supermodel or something like that. But the man has to have attraction towards the woman. If not, it's going to be difficult for him. Later on, it's going to kind of be with her for a little bit and then it'll be tough. So there has to be attraction on the man's side. Should social media passwords be shared after marriage? Depends. Like, for example, I'm working on a specific thing where there has to be amana. Like I can't give my password to anyone because they'll see conversations between clients that I have with clients. So, but if a woman's just having her own Instagram just like that or her thing with there's nothing there, no privacy needed because she's working with clients or something like that, maybe it could be. Does a revert Muslim woman need to cover in front of her kafir mother's boyfriend? Yes. Yes, she does. Yes. What makes a woman chaste besides not committing zina? That's a very good question. Her not looking at pornography, her not having a perverted mind, her not masturbating, her not looking at men or women and desiring them, her keeping herself chaste in her head, in her heart, and in her body, right? Like not looking at haram, not listening to haram, not doing haram. A lot of people think that it's just zina. God, the amount of books and nasty things that women read today and they think of makes them unchaste. And that psychologically has an impact and is going to have an impact in the relation. So that's a chaste woman these days, like a proper chaste woman, is very hard to find, especially in this culture. Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Assalamu alaikum. How do we as a community deal with the problem of domestic violence, in particular against women? Many women in the situation don't get support they need, family or imams. Yeah, indeed, it's a problem. A lot of guys are abusive. They don't know how to rectify problems. They don't know how to discipline their wives. They basically just go on a beating rampage. And this is wrong. It has to be men have to be educated. Families have to interfere. The walis have to interfere if they see anything like that. Abuse, right? Abuse is not allowed in Islam. Okay, the so-called domestic violence. A man is allowed to rectify and to scold and to discipline his wife, but there's steps for it, which these steps are gradual, so it doesn't allow for domestic violence to happen where a man just loses temper and breaks her teeth and her face and black eyes and all that, broken bones. This is all haram. But a man still has the ability to chastise his wife, to put her in her place. But see, Islam has steps, so there's no knee-jerk, emotional, violent reaction. Violence and that kind of beatings that you see in the West, specifically from the kuffar, actually. They're the ones leading this stuff, Allah. This is not permissible in Islam. It's a big thing. So there has to be education. There has to be a lot of education. People have to understand what's haram. If you skip steps in terms of disciplining children or wives or family members, you're accountable in front of Allah. You can go to hell for it. Okay, people need to educate. And as a father, like if that happens to my daughter, where the guy just goes crazy and whatnot, you have to interfere. Like, where are the men of the ummah? Where are the brothers? Where are the fathers? That's why the wali is needed and the protection for the woman. Have premature ejaculation. My wife gets really frustrated with me. I'm insecure and I don't know what to do. Okay, so most likely come talk to me. This can be easily solved, inshallah. Do Kegel exercises. Kegel exercise and relax. Increase the time of foreplay. Relax. Okay, you're overthinking it. And yes, of course, your wife's going to get frustrated. Like, you can please your wife without even intercourse if you know what you're doing. I've actually had an intimacy class, master class on my site for men to teach them about women, about intimacy with women, about female psychology and sexuality. You can please your wife without having to actually have intercourse with her. Then you'll see, once she's pleased, all that pressure is off from your head and you won't be prematuring because you'll be relaxed. There's just a lot of anxiety on you probably. So you just have to take it easy. So increase foreplay and do Kegel exercises. You have more, inshallah, more strength. Once you please your wife before you please yourself, then all the anxiety and all that will be taken away from you. Shyness is okay. Sometimes, it's important to have shyness even as a man, but you have to have confidence. Okay, you have to have confidence. I'm scared to masturbate. It's haram. Jinn's watching you behave. 100%. Not just that, but you are giving jinn more strength over you. Plus, Allah is the one who's watching you. Allah is the one watching you. Okay? Is it more important for a woman to be chaste during a marriage or a man? Both should be chaste. Both have to be chaste, okay? The issue that needs to be understood is that the value of a woman is pretty much most of it in her chastity. While a man, it's not that it's not important, but not fully his value is in that. His value is many other things. Most women will accept a man who's been married before, or even if he had a past. Most men will not. Most men will not. So keep that in mind. It's just an issue of difference, a double standard kind of a difference. Okay? Now, Huda says, we're in a Western country planning to escape, but many Muslims argue on who's going to spread the dawah. Then we're involved in dawah but can't feel safe. Dawah is important, but you need to know when to make a move. If you have to and you feel unsafe, you have to also protect your family. Not everyone can do dawah. Not everyone has to do dawah. Okay? So you need to look at your family's priorities and what's good for you guys, and make a decision. Istikhara, and then take a decision, inshallah. Yes, indeed, foreplay is very important for women, 100%. How do I get a wali if I don't have one? We offer a wali service in our system, our marriage system. So check it out, please. What country would you come for hijrah? Malaysia is good. I think Malaysia is pretty good. Depends. It depends. Depends. It's hard to tell these days. Very hard. But look, I still believe that in the Muslim countries, still a little bit better than a non-Muslim country. So see whatever works for you. Certain countries in the Khalij also are pretty good. Oman is pretty good. No. Right. It will increase the testosterone, but I'm always saying you have to get married. Actually, it's not only about increasing testosterone, but it's also dopamine effect. When you achieve stuff in the gym and you do stuff, it's like your dopamine is rewarded. It's like, but if you don't do that, then you want to reward it through pornography and so on. Some women complain their man is not vulnerable, open with them, but when he opens up, they get turned off by this. Yep. 100%. Don't open up to women easily until you really fully trust her. Right? In general, women get turned off by men who complain and who are weak and who are vulnerable. 100%. Good question. How can a woman rectify her fitra as well? Yeah, she needs to stay off masturbation, stay off bad things, come closer to Allah through her salah, her praying, her fasting, right? Always add extra fast, tahajjud, good deeds, and stay away from the bad things, masturbation, pornography, anything bad, reading. Yeah. There's quite a lot of foods that boost testosterone. Red meat, very important. Red meat, extremely. Brother Gabriel, I live in a Muslim country where haram relationships like dating and zina is like 90%, meaning the concept of courtship and exhort, according to Islam, doesn't exist. Any solution? Yes, there are Muslim countries that zina is so rampant, it's crazy. So the solution is for like Muslims, imams, teachers to preach, to give people knowledge, to continue to fight this ignorance. It's because people have just accepted it. People don't care anymore. Like there's some cultures, Muslim cultures, where the parents just tell their kids, go find yourself your own girlfriend or boyfriend and then bring them. We'll see if you can marry them or not. Right? So yeah, it's not so easy. May Allah protect us, yani. Right? May Allah protect. Yani. It's horrible, even in Muslim countries. Fasting during the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah, do you get forgiven for all your sins for the current year? Yes, current, inshallah, and past. Bidnillahi ta'ala. Especially the day of Dhul Hijjah, the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. Okay, Yawm al-Arafah. That's the one. Don't miss it, inshallah. We all need to remind ourselves. Thank you for everything so far. I have a question. I'm a trauma surgeon in training in America, but I feel that my life is mundane. I can't link my career to my Islam as I get money from it. You can link it, bro, because you're helping people. You are doing something that's very important. Trauma surgeon. Like, it's a big thing. Renew your intentions every time you go to work that you're doing this for the sake of Allah. Show yourself as a Muslim. Let people see that you've become that, which is so difficult to do because of Allah's blessing on you. Show yourself as a Muslim, your adab, your manners, connected to the deen, your job. It's a big job. Stay where you are and do your thing, bro. It's very important. And use some of that money that you're getting. You're probably getting good money, inshallah, to start different Muslim projects. Build water wells, masajid, support the dawa. Definitely, bro, definitely. Now, guys, don't forget, inshallah, we have a few more minutes, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Please support the dawah. Hit up with a super chat, inshallah, so we can read your questions. Now, definitely, someone says, I'm starting my manhood at the moment. I want to build some good habits for my wife in the future. This is a good trait, no doubt. Check out the Muslim Alpha Man course. You would love it. It's all about manhood and building masculinity based on Quran and Sunnah, inshallah. Okay. If a sister has been previously married before, twice, would you recommend that she accepts suitors that have never been married? Or would polygyny be beneficial? She has one child. Polygyny could work. Guys who've never been married could be a problem because she has a lot more experience. She might have issues. Allahu alam yani, but I would recommend for her to maybe go with someone who's got more experience, has been married. No. Subhanallah, I didn't do calls today. I apologize. Kind of just went on the Q&A, live Q&A. So we'll try to do it next time. I apologize. We kind of just went on reading questions, mashallah. But we'll be back again, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, next Sunday, inshallah, same time. So, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, please do share this link. It's going to be posted. I hope that the questions were beneficial. We should try to keep it to an hour and a bit, but today we'll call it for an hour. Hope everyone's good. May Allah bless all of you and protect you. Please support the dawah, share, check out the links, check out the Muslim Alpha Man course, my Instagram, and if you need to book a counseling appointment, we have free counseling as well for those who cannot afford. We're trying to help and support the community as much as we can. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.